Hi everybody, this is Buggas Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Marvel Legends Black Cat figure. So before we take a look at Black Cat, let's take a look at the accessories that she comes with. So first up, she comes with the right arm of Kingpin and his cane. And it looks pretty good. Now one thing to note is this doesn't swivel up and down, it only swivels side to side. Not really sure what happened. I think it's all cast in one piece like they didn't score it. So that's pretty irritating. And up next, she comes with her whip. And it's done in like a grayish color. It's not quite silver. But I feel like they're definitely making her look like Catwoman nowadays. With the belt that becomes the whip. But yeah, that kind of looks funny. Looks like armor plates, like scales. And getting this to fit into her hand, well, getting it in her hand is easy, but getting it to stay is the hard part, because it kind of just wedges in like that. And her hands are very soft. They're a very soft, rubbery material. So that's pretty irritating. They should have at least cast it in a harder plastic, that way she can keep it in her hand. But as you can see, it keeps trying to slip out of her hand right there. So during this review, I'm pretty sure this will probably fall out of her hand. We'll see how long it takes. So now let's take a look at the head sculpt. So taking a look at the head sculpt, it doesn't look too bad, but I feel like she looks like way too cheery for Black Cat. I mean, a smirk would have been fine, but yeah, she's really smiley. And at the corner of her mouth right there, they didn't get her lips painted on all the way. And I do like how the eyes came out, how they have the green color. I think it looks pretty good. And her hair has a lot of nice sculpt detail to it, but it doesn't have any paint shading. I think they should have did like the Toy Biz Black Cat and did like some light blue shading to the hair. I think that would have looked nice. And the body is the Legendary Writer's Black Widow body. It's just retooled, well, not retooled right here. Instead of the open collar, they gave her a fur collar with a cat zipper right there. And I'm not really a fan of this design. I feel like in the comics they should have made this white instead of just all black. And she has the cat eyes right there on her chest. And that just looks really funny to me. I don't know, like I said, I'm not really a fan of this design. Showing them side by side there, you can see how the collar is different. Yet they did keep the zipper right there. And the fur is a separate piece. It should have been sculpted on, actually. It should be all one piece, because the fur kind of just comes off of the suit in the comic design. But these are actually different pieces, and they shift up and down a lot. And that's another thing I don't like, is that since these are separate pieces, they aren't glued down, they just shift up and down. But not as bad as her belt. Her belt, the tail of it is supposed to wrap around her leg right there. But this just constantly moves up and down and moves freely. It's like it has its own free will. It just kind of does whatever it wants. And I will definitely be gluing this down, because that is super irritating. And then looking at the feet right here, not much more going on. She has these separate fur pieces right here. And these do tend to stay. They don't shift up and down as bad as on the arms. Because if you move her arms side to side, as you can see, this moves too. I don't know if you can see that, but there. How the fur keeps wanting to twist. So that's what I was referring to. Now, the fur on her legs right here, it doesn't move up as much. It's a lot tighter to her legs. And I don't mind that. It does shift up and down if you put some force into it, but for the most part it stays. So now let's go over her articulation. So she has a ball-jointed head that won't look back at all because of the hair. The hair is a very hard plastic. I mean, it's got some pliability to it in the ends here, but for the most part it's a harder kind of plastic. She can look down all the way, and she can move her head to the side just slightly. She can move her head to the left more than she can to the right, because it does get in the way right there. She has ball-jointed shoulders that can move out all the way, and that's just barely in her hand right now. She has single-jointed elbow that can move in that far. She has a hinge at the wrist that can move up and down, and move side to side. And on her right wrist, is it a hinge? Let me look here. Yes, it is also a hinge. I didn't think it was, but yes, it is also a hinge. She has a ball-jointed diaphragm that can move back just a little bit and down a little more, and can move side to side slightly. She has ball-jointed hips that can do a complete split. She can kick forward all the way. She can't really kick back. She has swivel at the thigh, double-jointed knee, swivel at the ankle that can move down and up, and an ankle rocker. So if you have the Black Widow figure, you know what to expect from the articulation of her. So now let me get this back in her hand. Like I said, that's a pain. And it already slipped out of her hand. Okay, it's just going to stay like that for the size comparisons. So now, here she is next to the Toy Biz. Oops. Here she is next to the Toy Biz Black Cat. Here she is next to the original Black Cat. And man, this figure is horrible. Like, look at those hips. And the legs just stick straight out. Like I said, the hair looks really nice. How it has that shading to it. But yeah, this figure is horrible. It was horrible even for the time. Like, it came out bad, and it's aged even worse, I suppose. So here she is next to Black Widow. So there she is next to Black Widow. And both of them kind of don't want to stand up. So there she is next to her. And finally, here she is next to Pizza Spider-Man. And I feel like the size difference is pretty good there since he is taller than her. So, overall, this figure isn't bad. Actually, it's a good figure. I just don't like the design personally. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.